Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the book of Hebrews with me and be with me. We're in chapter 11, the Hall of Fame of Faith, famous chapter, and I'm going to title today, We Have Enough. We're going to look at the promises of God, the duration of those promises, and the adversity through which that we have to have faith. So we live in a world before promises, at least before the promises are evident. Yesterday we looked at Sarah, who considered him faithful in the meantime. And the day before that, we looked at Abraham, where his adverse circumstance was not knowing where he was going. So faith is how you are considering God in your world before the circumstances are clear. So not 1 inch of the spiritual real estate that's covered in Hebrews chapter 11 says, this is easy. So faith might be hard, but the circumstances that it will be experienced in and exercised in certainly are hard. So faith is applied in adversity. Write that down. Maybe even faith is applied only in adversity. So today's difficulty, we get a new difficulty today, and that is enduring to the end. That is all the way until death. Now, for some that are mentioned here, their exercise of faith came quickly, and their death came quickly. For others, it was long persecutions or long trials or long challenges. And our specific challenge today is to continue to have faith until death. After death, we're not going to need it, right? Because we see after death. We're going to see the truth of God, the truth of heaven, the truth of hell. And so no faith is going to be required there. So we cannot please God by the exercise of faith then. Remember, without faith, it's impossible to please God. All right, so faith is trusting in the person of God before and until the promises of heaven are seen. So in a sense, we're saying, I'm a stranger here. I'm an exile here on this planet. This is not my real home. I'm going to a better country where the promises are going to be fulfilled. And we're seeking a homeland. We're seeking a better country. We're seeking a heavenly home. And we're seeking the God that prepared it. Listen in. This is from chapter 11, verses 13 through 16. These all died in faith. Talking about the people here, Noah and Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and Sarah. These all died in faith, not having received the things promised, but having seen them and greeted them from afar, and having acknowledged that they were strangers and exiles on the earth. For people who speak thus make it clear that they are seeking a homeland. If they had been thinking of that land from which they had gone out, they would have had opportunity to return. But as it is, they desire a better country, that is, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared for them a city. So that's from Hebrews chapter 11, verses 13 through 16. So a couple things. One is a point from before. That is, faith is applied in adversity. Faith is applied in difficult circumstances, and maybe faith is only applied in adversity. So I was just thinking, like, hey, what circumstance do you find yourself in right now? What is the difficulty that you have right now? And this can be the soil where faith is planted. The pleasure of your faith in God's eyes might even be related to the extent of your adversity. So the difficulty of your circumstances. Circumstances is a word that means that you're standing and something is surrounding you. So what are you like when you are surrounded? And specifically surrounded by adversity. And what are you trusting in when you are surrounded? That's what faith is. Faith is only in adversity. All right, but the big point today is this duration until death. And what a blessing it could be to have said of you is, oh, she died in faith, which means at the close of this life that she was found in him. That's from Philippians 3:9, one of my favorite little sound bites from Philippians. It's the same idea. Is she died in faith? She was found in him. So when it was she found in faith? Well, it's today. That's the only day you have. It's through today, and then she was found in faith on the today that is tomorrow. And then she was found in faith on the today that was her last day. So faith is to have a duration until death. And then the last point here is that we have enough to hold on to. So these promises are not unholdable. When we say we do have some glimpses of these promises, we have some information to hope in. So God is a promise. So what do we have on just from today's passage? What do we have to hang on to? Number one, that God is a promiser, and we have the promise maker that we can hold on to. Number two, he's a promise speaker. He's given us some promises. Now, we don't have them in possession yet, but we can kind of see them from afar, and we can greet them from afar. So we don't have them yet. We don't possess them yet, but they're near enough that we can trust them, to believe in. They are close enough, not yet to touch, but close enough to have confidence in. The other thing I notice is that we are his people of promises. We have the people. There's a plurality of people here. So you are not the only one waiting and seeking this. We have a whole body of other people, podcast listeners and church members. The whole church is hoping on these promises and having confidence in these promises along with us. Then the other thing is we're going home. We are on the homeward bound journey. You ever go on a sort of a long trip and you just can't wait to get home? Well, that's the same sentiment that is expressed here. We have the comfort and anticipation of a homeward bound journey. That's what we're on here. And we're going to a better country. This, make no mistake about it. Nobody comes back and complains. This is a better country that we're heading towards. God calls us his own in the meantime. So we have this ownership of God. So he's prepared this home. So not only do we have the promise maker, the promise speaker, the promises that are close enough, the people of the promise, the homeward bound journey towards that promise, and then we have this promise that it is prepared and architected by God. My point is, we have enough to hope in. We have enough to have faith in. Thanks for listening.